Hello everyone, welcome to part 83 of Laravel 9 series in which we are creating the multi-vendor e-commerce website. So we are going to continue working on the vendor registration process. Okay, so in this video we are going to create the vendor account, but that account will be inactive as well as not confirmed, not activated from the admin. Okay, not approved. Okay, so but we are going to enter, we're going to insert the vendor details. We're going to insert the vendor details here in the vendors table and as well as in admins table. Okay, in both the tables we are going to add the name, mobile, email. Okay, name, mobile and email in both the tables, and password in admins table. Vendors table does not have any password, just the vendor information. Okay, in both the tables we are going to fill some entries. Okay, so let's start. uh, so first thing is, we will check the validation are working fine. In last video we have though checked this one, but I want to check it once again. Like if I use similar email or mobile, then it must uh, give us the error. This one we forget to test. Okay, so see, email already is, so it is working fine. Okay, so now we are going to register with the separate email, and for that we are going to modify our code, our function vendorRegister function. Okay, in the last video we have seen that we able to add the validator class. We able to validate the vendor entries. Okay, now in this video we are going to insert the vendor details. Okay, so we are going to register the vendor. We can say register or create vendor account. Okay, so first is we are going to add the entries in the vendors table. Okay, so I'm going to add it like this. Sorry, $vendor equal to new vendor. There is a vendor model. Okay, so we are going to store the vendor name that we are getting from the form $name. Okay, and along with that email, mobile, email, and status we will keep as 0, inactive status. Okay, okay, so let's do that. First one is the name, then mobile, and then email, and its status we will make it as 0. Okay, so we are going to save this vendor save. Okay, after saving the vendor we are going to add this vendor in the admins table as well. First we are going to insert its entry in the vendors table, and then we will get the vendor id. That vendor id we are going to use in the admins table. Okay, as and type will be vendor, and its vendor id we are going to pick from there. Okay, so we are going to fetch this vendor id, that generates after saving the vendor in the vendors table. Okay, so how to get this vendor id? It is very simple. With db bcrypt, sorry, no, sorry, what I am doing, db get pdo and last insert id. This is the syntax to get the last insert id. Okay, so now this id, we are going to insert this id in the admins table. Okay, so here we can also comment it, okay, fine, insert the vendor details in vendors table, and now insert the vendor details in admins table. Okay, so I'm going to copy most like this. Okay, so many of the columns are same. Okay, so I'm going to copy it here. I think. Okay, so now we are going to use the admin, and here the admin will come. Now we are going to check name, fine, mobile, fine, email, fine. Okay, status we will keep it as 0 here as well, and along with that there are few more columns here, and that will be vendor type. Okay, vendor type we can check here. Type will be vendor. Okay, then after type vendor id is another column, vendor id. Okay, and vendor id we are already having this one. Okay, vendor id, and then name, mobile, email, status, that is fine. And after status, see there is one more column, password. Okay, after email, password column, password we are going to generate password. We are going to generate one password here. Okay, see password is already added in the form. We can see password is already added. Just the thing is we are required to decrypt the password. Decrypt. Okay, we are going to decrypt that password so that we can save it in hash in our Laravel table, Laravel admins table. Okay, so this one, and after saving the vendor, then see here we can use one more thing here that I'm going to tell you. We are going to use here db begin transaction and db commit that we have used in advanced e-commerce series as well, so that if anything goes wrong, like if entry comes in the vendors table, after that some error comes in the admin table, then the entry will get rollback. Then the entry will not come in the vendors table as well, otherwise it will create issue. Like if the vendor able to register in vendors table but not in admin table, then it will create the issue. So for that we can use the db begin transaction and commit. This is you need to write at the beginning of your code that is inserting the data into the database. Okay, before that you are going to write it like this, db begin transaction. Okay, so at the end of finishing the code you need to add db commit, so that it means that now you can commit like we used to do in git. Okay, you remember that our git series, in git series I have explained that when we use commit, okay, when we are ready to push the changes, then we are going to, like the changes are final now, then we use commit. So same thing here, when see when everything is done, like now this one is done, this one is also done, now we can do commit. Commit means now we can able to save all the things, like this both operation will get execute successfully. Okay, so now see status is 0, now that is fine. And one more thing, after this one we are going to return back the user with the success message. See email portion, we are going to send the confirmation email to the vendor, that we are going to do this one in the next video. We are going to send the confirmation email to the vendor. Okay, so that the vendor can confirm his email, only then vendor can able to log in into his account to write further details, to submit further details, so that he will get approved for adding the products in the website. Okay, so that we are going to do later on, but now we can simply redirect the vendor back to the that login page. Redirect back vendor with success message. Okay, see no need to add such kind of comments, but for the clarity I am writing this dollar message. So even then it is good, like if you mention everywhere, if you will do lot of commenting, it will always help you. Like if you see the project after a long time, then you don't remember anything, then these commands are really helpful. Thanks for registering as vendor. We will confirm by email once your account is approved. Okay, this one. And now we are going to return redirect back. With success message, this one. Okay, so let's see we able to register the vendor or not, and we able to get back or not. Okay, so here we are going to check, refresh the page once, and let's start. Let's try to register. There is already autofill entries are there. I am going to use any of the entries so that we can quickly add. We can remove this one, and okay, click on register. Some error is coming, db not found. Okay, it is saying db, we have used that db, so we need to add this use db. Okay, so we are going to try once again. I'm going back, then see just password is required to fill. Let's see, I click on register. Let's see, this time some other error is coming, vendor front vendor not found. Okay, we need to enter these models as well. We have not added these models. Use app models, and two models we need to add here, admin as well as vendor. Now we are going to try once again. So let's see, going back, and we'll try once again. So this time it must get registered. Let's see, register, and now some other error is coming this time. Let's see. Okay, field address does not have a default value, so we need to add these fields that does not have a value. And what we can do, we can just simply allow the null value to these columns that are optional, like address, city, state, country, pin code. Okay, all these columns are optional, so we can simply add the null value to these columns. Null. Okay, save. Fine. So here as well, and in admin as well, check which columns accept the null value. Okay, mobile all is required. Mobile, I think image, we can give the null value to image. Rest will come when error will come, then we can resolve. Here the image also, here null, save. Okay, now we can check. Going back, let's register once again. 2 3 4 5 6, click on register. This time it seems okay. So undefined array key password, it is showing some other error here. So it means that we are not getting here the password. We need to check our code here. Where is the password? See, here we have forgot to add name equal to password. Now it must work fine. Okay, so now it is done. Name must be there everywhere. Okay, so now we will go back once again, and we'll try this time, and hope this time it will work fine. Let's see. And this time again, undefined array key password. Again, once again this error is coming. Make sure that we have saved it. Name, password, it must work fine though. What we can do, we can debug our code. We can simply print the details here that we are getting everything or not. We need to go back and try again. Make sure all the files are saved. This one, register. Yeah, this time the entries are coming, password is also coming. It seems to be fine, and now we can move further. Okay, so let's see. Some other error is coming. Colon column type in field list. Let's see. Update vendor set type equal to vendor. Null column type. Okay, so here seems to be issue. We forgot to do one thing here. Here the admin must come instead of vendor. So don't do these kind of silly mistake at your end. Okay, so now it must work fine. I'm going back this time. Okay, we'll try once again. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 star, and this time it is working fine. Thanks for registering as vendor. We will confirm by email once your account is approved. So message is also coming. Entries must also come. Here vendors, in vendors, finally Sanjay has been registered. You can see Sanjay at the rate of yourmail.com. So it is working fine. Okay, so in admins as well, admin we can able to register the admin as well as Sanjay. Okay, so yeah, the entries has also come. But here date and time are not correct as per my time zone. Okay, it is speaking its standard time, date and time, but you can update the date and time as per your own time zone. So I will tell you that how you can update. If you want to save the entries in your own time zone, then you need to update, you need to add the credit and update it at. Okay, I will tell you that how. First of all, set the time zone here, like the uh, set default time zone to India. Set default time zone to India. Okay, so here date default time zone set, default date default time zone set. Okay, and here the time zone will come Asia. I am adding the Indian time zone. You will add your own time zone. Okay, search in Google Kolkata. This is the Indian time zone I am adding. So here the vendor, I will manually add vendor created at and updated at dates. Created at date. We will pick the format that MySQL knows, YMD HIS, like this. Okay, and one more, updated at, like this. Fine, and the same thing we can do for vendor, that admin as well. So let's register some other account. Make sure the account is new, Rahul with mail 1 2 3 4 5 6. Let's see. Register. Yes, we are able to register. Thanks for registering as vendor. We will confirm by email once your account is approved. We will check. Going to check here, and this time the date and times are perfect. Okay, it is matching to my current time zone. Okay, so here as well, see the date and time are here correct as well. Yeah, it is correct. Okay, so it is showing my current time zone. Okay, so now you can also do it like this. If you want to update the time zone as per your own time zone, then you can do it like this. Okay, then in next video we are going to work on the email confirmation part. We are going to send the email to the vendor to confirm his account, and after that the vendor will finally submit complete details to approve, to get approval for his account. So these three things are done. We able to amend the vendor form, we able to validate the vendor form, we able to create the entry for the vendor form, we able to create the vendor account, and now we will confirm the vendor account. We will send the confirmation email to the vendor that the vendor will confirm his own account. Finally, we are going to activate the vendor account so that the vendor can able to add the products. That is only possible when vendor complete his information. Okay, so that's all for now. So we are going to do that in the next two videos. We will finish this vendor part. Okay, then we will move further to the detailed page as well. Okay, so stay tuned for the upcoming videos, and don't forget to subscribe the channel for more updates, for more Laravel updates, new updates. We are the first one to launch the website on Laravel 9, and we are the first one to do such kind of multi-vendor e-commerce website in Laravel 9. Okay, so that's all for now. Have a nice time. Goodbye.